So, all right, we're on the
And
record.
what do you do?
Hi, Maria. I'm in the credit card business, point of sale and merchant services.
Can we take a time out for 1 second? Just say it on the record. You are going out and hanging out now safely, right, Ken?
Correct, sir.
Right. And Maria, you've been hanging out with people safely, right?
Yes.
And so if my wife watches this on YouTube tomorrow, you would tell her, let Mark have some friends, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Safely distance, you know, and just be smart and you'll be fine. There's no reason to, you know, have to shelter in place anymore. That's silly.
Awesome. That's what I want to hear. So barbecue on Monday. Okay.
Exactly. That's it.
Now we're going to talk about Friday Focus Forum. Welcome, everybody. And I'm sorry, I just had to get mine in because my wife won't watch more than a minute and a half. So that's just right timing. So welcome, everybody. Good to have you. We're at 103, so we can get started. And Ken is new to the group in a way.
Hey, Ken.
Ken and I have been working together for years. Ken has also done one of our podcasts that we're going to go live with. Have you ever heard of the term crackberry?
Yes.
Guess who was one of the guys who made crackberry a reality?
That's right. Well,
Really?
First
Yes,
distributors, yeah, in the States to offer it out. You know, we had a unique relationship with, at that time, Bell Atlantic, which was the only network that would run Blackberries. I'm going back to 1998 when it was a big clamshell device and it was, you know, very, very, you know, hot buttons. That's really all it was. F1 for this, F2 for that, and obviously it's emerged to something so much more. And now, unfortunately, it's gone by the wayside. But you know, for us, it was a whirlwind of opportunity for vertical applications and things that we've done with the BlackBerry. It was tremendous for the growth of our company.
Now, do you remember the BlackBerry, Ken, that was like about that big, and it had just the arm that came down, just the arm?
No, that wasn't a Black. I don't know if that was a BlackBerry. That might have been the. Are you sure? And then the arm that came, because I know the Samsung had the little this way with the arm that came.
It was that was the one I had. I think
yeah,
but
I had one of those.
You know, I'm senile, so in the '90s, forget about it. But Ken, right now, so we were talking about like what we do, and we'll go around the room really quick since not everybody knows everybody. Ken, tell us about your company and what you do, and that way we can learn.
Okay, sure. So Premier Merchant Solutions, we're really a technology business, obviously with integrated payments. So while I guess the fruits of my labor is paid through the credit card processing, what we deliver to our merchants is much more than a rate. It's a whole ecosystem centered around, you know, customized software, integrating third-party applications, and really delivering, you know, also social media, being able to tie that all in as well. So really from our one interface, you can manage your reviews, you can manage your, you know, your social media sites. Obviously, you can manage your inventory, everything that you need to run your business. We have one place that you can go, which is called our Lighthouse Network, that will allow you to manage all those areas of your business. I do deal mainly in the hospitality industry, as we know that it's been beat up quite considerably over the last month and a half. But you know, they're great customers for us. Obviously, with our point of sale systems, we now offer pay at the table. Curbside pickup has become very popular. We have handheld devices that make that easier for the merchant. So again, it's that ecosystem and delivering whatever they need to successfully run their business. We should be able to deliver it, and that's really been our motto since day one. So that's generally what we're all about.
So can I just jump in real quick before we go through the rest of the instructions? What impressed me about Ken and his company is, and I could be wrong, you tell me, it's been like an evolution. Like when we first met Ken, it was, you know, show me your credit card statement, I could beat the price. And now it's more about, I'm going to help you grow your business, and
there you go.
We'll service your credit cards too, and probably beat that price.
You said it perfectly, Mark. You said it perfectly. You know what? When you're a credit card guy and you walk into a merchant and you sit down with that merchant and you say, "Oh, I could save you 10 basis points. I could save you 20." They don't want to hear that anymore. That doesn't excite them. They want to hear, "How can you drive more revenue through my doors?" That's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So my pitch, if you will, is about just that. How can I help you drive more revenue? Well, these are the tools that we have in place that are going to do just that, and very measurable statistics that we deliver to prove that, that's what's going on. So that's it. And then of course the credit cards, it's a commodity. I mean, it's public information. Everybody, works off the same buy rates, which is the good part of the credit card business. I don't have to worry about a Bank of America coming in and saying, oh, we're Bank of America. And because of that, we have better interchange rates than Ken Rasiopi. It doesn't work that way on the credit card side. So fair rate, tremendous service, tremendous tools is what we're all about. But we are definitely technology focused.
Very cool. So that's one, to me, that's, we always talk about grow or die. I always used to think, so that meant grow your client base or die, but it could be just grow the way, what you service too, right? So real cool.
Correct.
Maria, you asked the question first, so you should go next. What do you do, and how come you're so amazing at what you do?
Ken, I am a residential realtor, and I think we are amazing at what we do because we are not afraid to tell it like it is. And like everybody, we put the customer first, but especially now we are adapting as fast as we can. We're kind of building the plane while we're in flight. The new technologies that we're using to do different things. For example, just a little while after this call, I'm going to be on a Zoom. We do a lot of estate work. So where they have to just liquidate real estate after somebody passes. And sometimes that gets complicated with who's living in what house and stuff and in the house and everything else. And there are sometimes a lot of players. This estate happens to be wrapped up in a court case. So I've got a couple of attorneys coming on and this. So we've got different, I'm presenting us, and I'm also presenting the analysis of the house to show them what has to be, where the pricing derives from and yada, yada, yada. So just put all these tools together to even coordinate meetings that might have been done in person once.
Right. Interesting.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Courtney, tell us who you do, what you do, who are you?
All right, so my name is Courtney. I'm brand new in the entrepreneur role, real estate investor. I've been working out in Philly and in the surrounding Pennsylvania area. Pretty much making a full-blown transition from being a New York City union iron worker to now kind of taking the reins in my own hands and no longer looking to be an employee, but to really just take care of myself. So.
Great.
I saw your picture the other day, standing over my own coffin. Okay, let's go to Jonathan. I'm just going clockwise. Jonathan.
Hello, I recognize, I think, just about everybody here. I'm an aspiring.
This is the better looking Adams. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, Ken, that hurts.
I like you already.
That hurts.
Good stuff.
I thought he was cool. Go ahead. He always was the cute one.
Thought this group had a good purpose. Anyway, I'm an aspiring pit master, but that doesn't pay my bills.
Nice.
I am a Philadelphia-based, Pennsylvania working general contractor. Basically, I've been on my own for a little bit, 6, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. Feels like 20 sometimes. But yeah, just trying to basically branch out what I do and transitioning from the guy who swings the hammer to the guy who oversees the guys who swing the hammer to hopefully getting into real estate investment. So that's the goal there. So entrepreneur, but trying to transform who I am to do something else that's less physical, if that makes sense.
And just, if I can jump in and tell your business.
Sure, you do anyway.
Good. Another example of transitioning a business, right? So he started in HVAC. and that was the big deal. And doing installs like duct work and that kind of thing. But I'm a big believer in evolving a business, not getting a second and a third hustle. I keep hearing that on social media. If you don't have 4 different hustles, then you're not doing it. And I'm like, if you got 4 hustles, that means you don't know what you're doing with 3 of them. You know, you need to have one hustle. Maybe it evolves and it grows, and that's kind of what, you know, I think a normal outgrowth of something like somebody who's really good at HVAC and planning out a job says, hey, I can actually plan out bigger jobs. And so, you know, another example of grow or die. At least that's what I think. So I'm happy that I get to watch your journey. And the other thing I'm going to tell you in front of everybody is, yo, stop texting at 6 o'clock in the morning that you went up to fire the grill. I mean, my God, I was sleeping. It's ridiculous. Can you schedule your text for like 9 when I get up?
You need to wake up, bro. Early bird smokes the brisket.
Yeah, okay. All right. Nicole, okay. Colette, you facing us again? I love your background. I love it.
I'm testing it out for my Zoom calls and everything.
You know what?
So,
I like the graphic. I'm
Yeah,
not a big fan of these Facebook of the Zoom backgrounds, because when you move, your graphic gets choppy. But I love your background.
now that happens when I'm on my PC, but on my Mac it doesn't happen as much.
Ah.
So yeah.
So now she's going to try to do a Mac endorsement.
No, let me tell you. My daughter says you're fully Mac.
Okay.
Because, you know, I have my iPhone and everything and I see the improvement, but like I said, with the Mac, I can, you know, clearly see where it's better. So I'm just testing it out so that I can get feedback as to whether I'm disappearing or anything, whether this will work in my one-on-one appointments.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It's actually made me say on my back wall, I need to get a banner that says, we help you grow. But that's another story. So tell us what you do, lady.
I work with, I'm the owner of Fluid Financial Group, and I help people to set up their retirement accounts, specifically women. So I really want to educate women on what they need to do to prepare themselves for retirement, because of the fact that women have a different journey than men do. So things work out a little bit different for us. So I want to try to educate women and help them set up retirement accounts. So
You guys definitely live longer than us. So
yeah, well, that's actually one of the problems. That's actually one of the problems.
She says that's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad you see it that way.
Longevity is a risk of retirement, and women happen to live longer than men. So we have to, you know what to expect and be prepared and things like that, because even, you know, as a woman, when you lose a spouse, there's so many things that a lot of times women find out that they didn't know that was going on. And so there's a lot of things that need to be known on the front end that, that a couple can talk about. And I really feel that if a woman understands how this works, she can help direct her husband in doing what's right, you know. So what's that look, Mark?
Nicole, you're up. We're not gonna get in the battle of the sexes up in this piece.
No, we're not. No, we're not. But it makes her more effective in helping for the whole, you know, for what needs to happen for the family, because, you know, those things, it's a fact of life, you know. Yes. That the time comes when we're retired and we've got to prepare. So that's what I do.
Nicole?
My company's name's Apex Survey Solutions. I'm a social media strategist, and I help companies get their social media platforms together.
Cool. Very nice. Very nice. Another company that's evolving. It's nice to see. She just introduced a new tool for me and my firm. That's kind of bananas, but we're not going to digress about that. Our reason for getting together on Fridays is to talk about business and how we can just vibe and grow. And so we have a little theme that we kind of run into, and then we talk about the goals that we try to accomplish throughout the week, kind of making it something that gives us purpose. So this week we said we were going to come up with an idea, or the idea that we came up with. And this is not my quote. I think there's a gentleman who works with us named Joseph. Awesome guy. He found this quote, and I said, oh, this is perfect for business. Tell me what you think. It's the best time to have the map is before you enter the forest. What do you think about that? How does that work with business? What do you
I
think?
like that a lot.
What do you think when you hear that? The best time to have the map is before you enter the forest. How can you apply that to business?
I'm gonna use that with one of my my social media postings. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's a
The
real
only
nice one, right?
Mark, the only problem with that is the map changes often, so
True.
when you're in the forest, that map may not work for you anymore, and you have to learn how to, take a different path.
I like
But
that.
that's better than
Sometimes-
not having a map at all.
True.
And you know why I like that? And before we get into it, Bruce, welcome. Bruce Ellickman is a realtor, and he's with, we got a couple realtors in the house. Bruce, this is our little Friday Focus Forum. Welcome. If Bruce can hear.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
There it is.
I turned up my hearing aids.
Oh.
It's the only one I can hear.
Bruce is a really cool guy. Actually, he busts my chops every time we talk. Last time we spoke, he said, "Stop being a baby."
Oh, that's excellent.
Well done.
But Bruce is an amazing
You go-
realtor. But we were talking about this theme about the
good
best
news,
time to
Mark.
have a map is before you enter the forest. And Ken, you do make a point. Sometimes when you get in there, the map might be outdated. But I think that you still want to have the map before you go in. At least you get the general lay of the land. You know how many people start a business and have absolutely no clue what they're doing? And then 6 months in, 6 months in, they have failed miserably, and they're blaming everybody. And so it's nice to have a map, even if it's not the direct path you're going to go,
Just be careful of paralysis by analysis, that you
Oh
take
yes.
one
Yeah.
step into the forest and then you start looking at the map from every corner and then you don't take
Right.
the second
You
step.
go nowhere.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. One thing that you had mentioned once before, Ken, when we were talking about like success in business, you said, don't stop,
Right.
right? So sometimes you got that map and you're like, oh, I can go east or I can go west or I can go north or I can go, and we can't do that, right? So it's good to have the map, kind of plot your course. That's the whole idea, right? To me, before you enter the forest, you have your map, you plot your course. Now, when you go there, you might see roadblocks, you might see things that, I don't know, are there roadblocks in forests? You might say,
There's
Yeah, a tree
stumbling
might have
blocks.
fallen. A tree might have fallen.
A tree
and
might
blocked
have
that
fallen,
way.
right?
Yeah,
Nice,
it's
bro.
a stumbling block.
Yeah.
You can have a stumbling block, right? So, but at least you have the map and you say, okay, well, I can't go this way. I'm going to bear left a little bit and move around, right? So, interesting
Mark,
thought.
Years ago, I was involved in a side business with two partners, and this was never true. This map in the forest thing was never truer, so it was not going well, and it was getting a little bit ugly. And we actually met with SCORE. Do you know the retired?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, it came out of that meeting, like, what is your goal? What is your goal for this business? Where do you see this in a year or 2 years, whatever it was? And our goals were the three of us were so radically different that there was no map that was going to cover. So I loved when you said, have the map before you go in the forest, because if we had actually sat down and, okay, what's your goal for this business in 2 years? There's no way I would have ever invested in it, time, money, anything. It was horrible.
Yeah.
What kind of business was it?
Oh. It was like a training program for realtors on how to work with prep homes for sale with stagers and organizers. So
Okay.
one realtor, one stager, one organizer, and we all had such different goals for where we needed to get to in a 2 years' time. So.
Yeah. It makes me think of that book. I don't know if you ever read the book. I know Maria has, The E-Myth. You ever read that book?
Yeah.
The E-Myth is like they call it the entrepreneurial seizure, right? You're sitting there working for the man or the woman, and you're saying, this is crazy. They're just making money up my back. I can do this myself. And you just start a business, but no plan, no goal, no direction. And before you know it, you're in some deep trouble. So it's good to have something of a plan when you start this business. And even, some of you guys, a lot of you are in real estate. We got 2 realtors. We've got an investor and a GC. So I would say before you start a project, right? Before you, plan to sell, maybe you have a plan in place, something like that. That way you'll have a smoother ride. Planning is critical to, I think it's critical to a successful business. What would you think? I mean, can you be successful without having the plan?
It'll be accidental
Yeah.
and not purposeful. It'll be undirected. So your success will be scattered like a shotgun
That's
instead
true.
of a shot from a sniper rifle.
Yeah. And you know what I would bet? I would dare say that if you start and you haven't, you're going somewhere, maybe you're doing a little something, you won't be successful until you figure out that you need the plan to get you, you know what I'm saying? Like, probably that's how it goes. People start their business, they're struggling maybe, and then they come up with a plan and then they make the success. So at some point, you've got to build your plan. So here's a good question then. So who of us has a business plan?
I do. And it's interesting because I was going to say that, when I did my business plan, I, at the end realized that I didn't have enough funds to fund the business plan. And I think that's, one thing you learn, when you do a business plan, right? I mean, guess what? I'm underfunded. So, what suffers? Advertising, those are the types of things that wind up suffering. And for a new business, that's where you should be pouring your money. I mean, you're not going to get instant gratification, but that's what, things that, I've learned with a lot of businesses, you don't properly fund the plan, and that's how you fall short.
Yeah. And if you've transitioned out of your day job, then you're really going to be in trouble. So
That's right.
a plan is really critical.
I think that's key, what you just said, Mark.
Your
We've been talking about.
expectations are higher than
Say again?
What'd you say, Bruce?
Oh, I just said that often when you're starting, your expectations exceed your ability sometimes. If ability isn't the right word. You have high hopes, and it doesn't always work out. You are underfunded sometimes, very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got to have some kind of a plan. Court, you were saying something to that, Maria?
I wanted to say that one of the reasons that we became successful, because the first, I think, 10 or 12 years I was in business, I did not have a clear enough plan, and I also did not track my numbers carefully enough. So I'm at the point where I know what I have to do. I know the lag measures to get me, or the lead measures to get me to the lag measures. Back then, I didn't know that. It was like, oh, did I, what did I make? Or now I know what I have to do to hit the number I want to make. And you only get that when you can track your numbers, when you have a grip on what you do.
Tracking numbers is critical.
Experience has a lot to do with that also, time and experience. You're right.
And I think being open-minded too, right? Because some people have been in the game for a long time and they're just struggling every year. I have clients like that. Every year we sit down and do the taxes and they're crying that they're in the red. And it's like, because you're not applying what you should be applying, you're not trying to learn. Business owners, we all know it's a constant growth pattern. We're all learning, right? I mean, that's how you get better. That's how you be more efficient. That's how you get success. So it definitely is something that I think is important.
I agree. Without having the plan fully fleshed out, it's kind of like, okay, should I leave my job now? Or what about now? I think I have enough money now. Maybe I do this now. So it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And at that point now it affects productivity. It affects setting goals, all that, because now I'm giving time to someone else's business instead of my own. So yeah, it's definitely important to have that plan.
Yeah. So if you're going to have success, first you have to me, what I try to work with clients to understand is, if you want to have success, first define what success is to you, because everybody is different, right? For some people, success is $750,000 a year. For others, it's $50,000. For some, it's $80,000. Whatever your idea of success is. For me, it's not working 5 days a week because I don't like to do it. It's sleeping till 9 if my brother stops texting me at 6. You know, that's success for Mark. You know, it's like getting up when I get up. Now I'm working with this team. Nicole is on that marketing team, and Joseph, and he likes to be early. So I got to be in the office before 9 in the summertime to be ready for 9:30 meetings. Just killing me for now. But we're going to chat about that. But anyway, you define what success is, and then you get the plan to reach it. That's the bottom line. And too many of us, and when I say us, I don't mean the 8 in this little Zoom room, but too many of business owners don't try to define success and therefore don't have a plan for success. So if someone is listening to this, then I'm going to tell you, hopefully, and we can probably all agree, determine what your idea of success is and then work on defining a plan for it, right? Would you all agree?
Yes.
I mean, you know, some people can do it alone. Some need help, right? That's why there's coaches and mentors and SCORE and SBA. There are a lot of different places, but don't just jump in the water. It's like, you know, diving off of a catamaran and then realizing you can't swim. I did that one time. They gave you a life vest and they said to go snorkeling, and they said, you know, so just jump off and then the life vest will pick you up and then you just start. Well, it didn't work that way. Bro, I jumped in the water and I was like, I went down and I started panicking and I was like, oh my goodness, I think. And so I said, let me turn my head and I'm snorkeling. Anybody ever snorkel? I didn't do it the first time ever. So I turned my head because I said I'm gonna start swimming, and guess what happened? The water went right in the snorkel. I said, oh God, I'm gonna die. I thought I was gonna die. I really thought I wasn't really planned. I didn't plan well enough. But I didn't die, just so you know. In case you're wondering. Like, what happened at the end of the story? I didn't die. Yeah, but it was kind of weird. I was like, okay, I just started thrashing, and this guy came and grabbed me. It was kind of cool. He was in the islands. He said, I got you, brother. Then he gave me a big life ring, and I said, okay, I'll just do it that way. I was only dark, but whatever. It's that or die. So planning is kind of
Did they
important.
at least not charge you, Mark?
No, they charge. You know them. They charge you before you even get on the boat. You know,
It's free to go in the water, and they charge you to get out of the water.
you best believe it. Especially when they see you struggling. He grabbed me. He had me up. He said, "You got any money in your trunks, boy?" Better have a plan. Better have a plan. Cool. I also said when we have these meetings, if anyone has any questions that we can all help each other out with. Last time we did this, we got into a fairly long discussion with Devon Fowler. He was the real estate broker in Manhattan. And it's interesting because he emailed me right before this meeting. I'm going to tell you what he said. If I didn't believe it. He said, unfortunately, I won't make it today as I have to take my class in mechanics. I will definitely look forward to the next one. I really benefited from last week's meeting, and I look forward to more insight. I have to say the viewpoint of my business did change, and the feedback from the panelists gave me good advice to implement to my business. I thought that was pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, we all chimed in, right? And he had a lot of things that he was trying to figure out. And so it was just really valuable to hear him say that you know, he really appreciated it. And that's really what this is all about. So if anybody's got a question that they want to chime in and get some panelist feedback on, now's the time. Anybody? Somebody told me they had marketing questions.
Yeah.
That was you.
I was, yeah, way to put me out there. I was trying to, like, you know, acquiesce to the group, you know, and not talk too much. But here's a question. I don't have a real presence online. 98% of my work is word of mouth. People just know me. People call me because their cousin's brother, sister's mother told them about me. And, you know, that's been working for the past 6 years. But, you know, when you're established in a trade, that's one thing, you know. But starting out as a general contractor, I have a lot of time trying to build my contracting squad. I don't have a lot of time left to try to, hey, my name is Jonathan. To every person I meet, I'm a GC now. So I'm interested in just from the ground up, basic ideas. What platform should I focus on to just start putting my name out there? You know what I mean? Because I have friends who are GCs And they're like, oh, we just get people to come to us. Yeah, but you've been a GC for 25 years. People know who you are. You have a network. So I was just kind of trying to brainstorm as to some good ideas to just start putting my name out there.
I see.
But
See.
I
Go
would
ahead,
say two
Maria.
things. So usually over 90% of our business is repeat. So it's word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're finding, and especially with younger audiences, you hear about me, the first thing you're going to do is Google me.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have that presence. You have to have that presence. I think Nicole is the best one to answer this question because she is social media guru, and we've been struggling with it for a long time, and we just started working with Nicole literally last week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but anyway, she's the expert.
Are you on any social media platforms?
Negative. I'm the oldest sold young person you want to meet. I just talk to people and sell my smile and get jobs. But I
You
have
ain't young no more, son. Sorry.
Somebody asked for your feedback there, sir. I literally have no online presence for 6 years, 7 years, something like that. I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah. You really need to get a social media presence.
See, what I'm nervous about, and I study other entrepreneurs. Like there's a friend of mine who has a pest control business, all kinds of potential, horrible at picking partners, horrible business person. So he burns literally thousands of dollars a month on SEO. I know about search engine optimization. I know about keywords, but I look at him. And what's amazing is he can afford those mistakes and still have some lights on. Not all of them, but some lights are on. So it kind of makes me leery about things like that. Is SEO what I should look at?
But
I don't know.
Is he running like Google ads and all of that stuff? What's he doing? Well, you don't ask Mark. Well, you're not running any type of ads. Are we,
No,
Mark?
you can grow organically. Absolutely. You don't have to pay for ads.
Yeah.
You first need to
Maria's
understand.
doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're not.
I think you first need to understand what the purpose of your online presence is. Meaning, for you, it's going to be different than financial services. When they Google you, what do they need to see? Do you need paid ads, or do you simply need my Google business page listing where people can find you?
Like
or do you need, or do you need I have a Facebook group, but do you need a Facebook group to do general content? Probably not.
No.
But you need a professional appearance, and maybe it's just a couple of landing pages that you don't need. So the thing I would tell you is do a strategy session, figure out exactly what you need for your specific business, and then talk about what to implement.
The next steps, yeah.
I want to make a suggestion to you.
Please.
I actually have a marketing business, but I only really work with people who are repeat customers, and I do because I've really gone into now financial services. But I keep that because I have a lot of relationships and I still get commissions from certain things that I've done. But what I can suggest to you, talk to Nicole, but from based on what I see in how your personality seems to be, you talk about being a pit master. If I were you, I would probably start like an Instagram page. And I would start posting things, pictures about your lifestyle as a pit master. And then within that Instagram, you're going to talk about what you do as a general contractor. And then now you start leading over into your general contractor business when you're on the sites and you're talking. So you're going to have a 2-part Instagram page. So you can start it with your personal Instagram, which is the pit master, and you talk about the general contracting. Then you can do a general contracting business page, and you kind of merge the message in a way, and like I said, Nicole, you can help them with that, but because you're so uncomfortable and you haven't had a social media presence, it would probably be easier for you to ease into it with that. Because when you talk about being a pit master, you're very excited. Okay.
Yeah, I like
it's the very competitive things, and you're bringing in a lot of people, and a lot of the time you're bringing in a lot of other men who think that they're the best at barbecue and things like that.
And they
so
suck.
now you
Oh please, you made one brisket. You didn't even finish the
sharing that
brisket. It's still on the
message.
grill. I know it is.
Now you're sharing that message, and you're always going to be putting that general contractor part of your life in there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it's-
that's how you get the word out.
that's why I asked.
To start.
That's why I ask you guys, because my online presence is showing pictures of my kids on Facebook to my family. I don't know how to think that way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the things I think you have to do, Jonathan, is who is your avatar? Like, who is your perfect client and where are they? So I'm like, I have a LinkedIn I have many of my clients are business owners. So LinkedIn is a channel that I'm successful on. And and also the other thing, and Nicole can help with all of this, but you if you're going to jump in the pool, you can't jump in every pool at once.
Exactly.
I'm good for that.
Just say, where are my ideal clients? What's the best place for me to start? Start there, and then.
That makes sense.
And so, yeah, and that's really critical. Like, and that's something that I learned too. You first start with your ideal client, right? And then that's why you don't just start with SEO and webpage and Facebook,
Right.
because if you're dealing with, no offense, but if you're dealing with an older crowd, right?
Right.
You might Instagram, you might not ever find those people, depending on what you're looking for, right? You are a general contractor, and first you have to understand who you're trying to appeal to, and then you go where the people are. It might be Instagram, it might not be. It might be Facebook, it might not be. It might simply be a landing page, it might not be. It could be a direct mail campaign. There are still people, and this is what I've been told because I don't know, but there are still people that want to get a piece of mail. I don't know if that's the right place.
Mail is good.
You have to figure that part out. So before you spend money building stuff up and going down that path, that's the whole map, right? You want to have a map, but you can't just jump in the middle of the forest. Someone, I'm here. That's not going to really,
Right.
Your crowd's not there.
And it's
your crowd's actually in
your
the
comfort level with it, because you got to build up your comfort level.
Yeah. So, wait, we got Bruce talking and he's muted.
What about a niche market? Have you focused on that at all?
I think organically that's happened. I used to do a lot of commercial work, and I just so happened to work for a company 8 years ago that focused on residential. Stayed with them long enough to learn how to conduct the business, and then, parted ways. So it's kind of like organically I found myself in this residential rehab in low income areas kind of world, which is cool. But I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't plan to be there. It just kind of happened.
Well, most of us don't necessarily follow the plan. The plan is an idea. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work.
True.
But your residential, you just mentioned rehab and residential. That's a pretty big business. If you get, again, a niche, get involved in that. I'm not suggesting that you get only involved in that, but or whatever it may be. We're just using that as an example.
Right.
But perhaps the niche market might help you a little bit.
Remember we talked, you were at one of the workshops, Jonathan, where we had in the ebook, Riches and Niches. Right? That's exactly what it is, right? And it doesn't, Nicole and I were having a conversation just recently about, doesn't mean that I have a niche now and this is my niche, so you're not in that niche, I'm not going to ever work with you. But you have a direction that you want to follow, and that's the path. You had mentioned before, and that it's important that you think about it. You talked about working with real estate investors.
Yes.
Right? So if you're a GC for real estate investors, that's your niche, perhaps, real estate investors. Now they might go high and low, and you can further niche down and be granular. I'm only working with real estate investors who invest in properties at $1 million or more. That way I can know how much I want to make off of it. You can go that granular, or you can just say real estate investors. You can say that stay in the urban areas. You can do a lot of things, but once you find that out, you might find that the real estate investors who work on low income properties are found at the bar. I don't know.
Right.
I need to go to. I need to do a little placemat on the bar. That's what you figure that out, and that's how you start though. So ideal client avatar. I have a workbook for that, by the way.
It's a good workbook.
No, not. That's the ebook. I mean, a workbook for ideal client avatar. I stole it from somebody.
You repurposed it. You repurposed it.
No. I straight up stole it. Like if he watches it, they're coming to get me. No. I stole it. I got his graphics on it and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Edit that out of the recording.
I used it for me.
Don't say stole it.
I used it for me. He gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna sell it to anybody. So I'm not. So it's a private theft, but I will share it with those whom I love. And Jonathan.
And there's a charge for sharing it, right?
Yeah.
You'll figure out something, Mark.
Yeah.
It's just a wiring fee to send it via the internet.
Right.
There you go.
I won't. What is it? Copyright. Break the copyright.
Copyright.
Court.
Don't fringe copyrights. No.
I just wanted to mention just one little small note, John. So every time with the project that we've been working on with the rehab, every time you text me an update about the plumbing or the electrician or when the stairs are coming in, I literally take that screenshot and I put it on Instagram.
I've seen that.
Has my business account. So what happens is now, actually, I had like 3 investors hit me up like, who want to partner up with me on the next deal. They're already like, what? He's doing this, he's doing that. I'm like, yeah, I already told you this in place. Look at what he's saying. Look at what he's saying. Every week I'm doing that. I could also, just on the side, just tag you in that as well.
You should.
Are you on Instagram?
I don't have him on Instagram. I don't know if he's on Instagram.
Courtney,
I'm
he's your friend.
I'm not going to say what my presence on Instagram is, Mark, because you'll just mock me. So suffice it to say, I can start an Instagram page for my general contractor.
I can't.
Your brother just started posting on Instagram via me. So don't.
I can't mock you on Instagram.
Don't.
I still don't know where it's at.
But I do know how to start a page on Instagram because I started it for my photography interest. So
okay. And Jonathan, there's a lot of real estate investors on Instagram. And just one of the things to remember that when you're posting on Instagram, make sure you're using relative tags. Put relative hashtags in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This way, it'll come up when they're searching hashtags.
So what you'll need is a keyword strategy session.
Yes, sir.
Those are really valuable. I know nothing about them, but I'm going to have mine next week.
Full disclosure. I use my brother. Yes, Facebook. He is my brother. If you couldn't tell, because he's very particular. So if he uses someone and has positive things to say, and they still like him, I tend to want to use them as well. So Nicole, you will be getting an email from
Nicole,
me.
do you still like Mark?
Do you still like him?
I love Mark. Yes, I do. I've been with Mark for about 5 months. For about 5 months now, and yes.
I will be. That's the best sales pitch. Then hold on, Mark. I will email you. I will reach out to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, I actually just sent an email out because last week the folks that were on the group asked for this email. I swapped the names. Nicole, I should have just put you on it. I was rushing. So I'll forward you that email. I don't know. I'll send you her email address if you don't already have it.
Gotcha.
Right.
Sounds good.
Make it happen.
Thank you, everyone.
Courtney, I just wanted to mention that when you do those posts, it's a very good idea to tag him because then people can reach out to him directly for what they need. And so, that'll help him.
So you need to exist real quick then.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's trying to tag the
You already have a following and you don't even know it, John.
He's tagging nothing right now. Cool. That's a good idea though.
Great. Thank you.
That's why we raised the question, because you never know what you're going to get from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we had the 45-minute mark. One of the last things we try to do is we talk about the goals we have for the week, if we were able to accomplish them or not. Now, last week we had, of the 8 of us, it was 3 of us who were here. And Jonathan, you had a goal. I'm going to just throw it out there. Did you meet your goal? You're going to join some investor group.
Yeah, so on the advice of my dear friend and client, Courtney Benson 91991, I've been dipping my toe online to learn about where people are. There's a website, biggerpockets.com. And so from that website, I've been learning a lot. And I guess I said something that someone liked because a gentleman's supposed to be calling me at 2 o'clock about what I do. Don't know if he's legit or not. If he's looking at this, hope you're legit. But yeah, I mean, I would say I met my goal only because I've established this back and forth with this individual. I don't know where it'll go.
See that? I take notes. What you said was, I'm going to put dollars to it.
Yes.
Did you put
dollars and time have the same value for me?
Okay, so you didn't meet your goal, but that's okay.
Thank you.
Goal.
Thank you, Jonathan, for saying that. Your brother needs to understand that.
Yes.
Dollars and time have the same value.
Dollars and time don't have the same value. We're not going to have that debate.
He wastes a lot of time, Nicole. We'll talk later.
I do waste a lot of time. Dollars and value don't have the same time, but the point is that you made it go, okay, fine.
I'm 3/4 of the way there.
Hold on, Maria. Yes.
Can I say something to Jonathan? Jonathan, if you're doing, there are realtors like me who work with investors who need to work with contractors.
Agree.
They're a good place for you to go.
Okay.
Most of them do not know. Well, I mean, we're not going to talk about, I don't want to denigrate contractors in general, but a lot
I will.
just what Mark said, they start their own business. They work for somebody else. Hey, I could do this better for myself. They go into business, and then like I'm calling this window guy down the shore, and he's not calling me back.
Yeah.
And call me back and tell me we are blessedly busy right now. Can this wait 2 weeks? Let's make an appointment for 2 weeks from now. Whatever. But he's just not responding. Do I do business with him? No. I'm type A. You got to have an appointment on the calendar with me. But anyway, so there are so realtors are reluctant to very often refer contractors unless you have somebody who's reliable. They're going to show up when they say they are. They're going to be responsive, yada, yada. So they're looking for people like you. We work with investors. I just think that's a whole group of people you can get business out.
Thank you.
Awesome. I like that too. So, man, John, you gotta focus on your, maybe that's, well, we got other things we need to start cooking on, but definitely that ideal client avatar is important for you. But, all right. So you mentioned joining the group. I still think, and when we talked last week, even though that was your idea, I think you have other things that you should prioritize over that. But do you have a goal for this upcoming week?
Yeah. Get my ideal client avatar. Oh, wait, that's what you just said.
That's fine. So let's do that. You and I had a meeting the other day, and I forgot what I told you. We need to work.
I told you to record it.
I did record it.
Oh, okay.
I did record it, and you didn't tell me. I told you I recorded it. Ideal client avatar, but we talked about the financial part of it, and
right.
You had some homework that you had to get done.
Yes.
And we were going to talk about the way billing.
Yes.
Some of the paradigm, but you can do two things at once, right? Walk and chew gum. So maybe there'll be two things that'll be done in the next week. Ideal client avatars could be a nice task for you. I will send you the borrowed version that I have. It's a good start. All right, cool.
Thank you, everyone.
Colette, you said you were going to have your website. You were submitting for the FMO. How'd it go?
I got the response from them. They just had me change a few words to make sure that we were compliant and legal in what we were saying. And it's actually ready. I just need to connect one more thing. The pop-up that comes up to offer the download, I had to submit their download brochure back to them because it was too large. I had to have them condense it and fix it so that I can customize it with my name on it. So when you go to my site, the pop-up shows like an ebook cover, which I created for it, but the actual brochure didn't have everything it needed. So I got that done. So really it's just a matter of now just putting the settings on the pop-up, and we're ready.
And then you'll be able to tell us what your website is when you go live?
Yes.
So is that next week? We're going live by next week?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. I'm excited. I'm going to put it go live next week.
Right.
That's big.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And I was the other one in the meeting. And
did you meet your goals? Huh?
I wrote down that I was going to have, that I had launched a podcast, and we did launch. That was last week. And I wanted to build some action items off of that. So I met with my marketing team, and we have started building action items off of it. We actually had a meeting this morning, and we're changing a few things with our direction. Not changing it completely, but just like how we post, what we post. So, and I think that went really well. Next week, I'm gonna commit to revising my ebook, because the ebook that I have, I love the ebook, but I want to make it niche specific. And so I'm going to revise the ebook to be a little bit more niche specific. So I want to have two.
Is this the Niches and Riches?
No, my ebook is entitled Mastering the 5 Keys to Business Success.
Okay. Which one is the Niches and Riches?
Inside of that ebook, one of the 5 keys is understanding your ideal client. It's much like we talk about. It's so interesting because most businesses are the same. If you want to be successful, one of the first things you need to master is the type of client that you're going to appeal to. And so in the ebook, I talk about riches and niches, because a lot of times people just say, and I was that way when I started out, they say, oh, who's your client? Anybody who got money.
Right.
So I was doing all kinds of stuff, right? But you can't get systems in place. You can't get your marketing message. It's harder to get a streamlined system. It's harder to train people so that you can scale. It's harder to make your message clear. And so I talk about the value of having riches and niches, but that is one of the 5 keys that I think a business owner must have to be successful, understanding that ideal client. So that client avatar that I was talking to Jonathan about, I kept it from that guy, but I have other ones. I have like 4 of them that I'm going to create my own, but I really feel that you have to get that nailed to be successful. You can obviously be successful a lot of different ways, right? But my whole thing is about making your dreams come true, not a dollar figure, but like how you want to live. And if you can get your ideal client, you can figure out how you live a little bit easier, because you don't have to learn how to do it. I remember when I started, I did an estate tax return. This lady said, can you do an estate tax return? I said, you got money? She said, shit. Yeah. I said, okay. I probably made $4 an hour on that estate tax return, which is fine if I was going to go and do estate tax work. Then I said, oh, I hate this. I'm not doing this no more. So it wasn't worth it. But I have my niche now. I know exactly what I want to do. So now it's mastered. So that's kind of what it's all about. But I just
If you did that more often, you'd become an expert at it, and you'd want to do that, continue to do that.
Exactly.
You did it once, apparently, and it didn't work out for you. So you said, forget it.
And you know what? It worked out, but it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Some work.
Enjoy what you're doing.
I decided that I want to do business advisory. And I'm doing it now. And that's way more, like this whole thing is an outgrowth of business advisory, not taxes, not bookkeeping, but I love talking to people and I love helping business owners grow. So this is my niche,
If you didn't like it, then
it wasn't fun.
Then you bail out.
Yeah, then you bail. Right?
Because you also, if you don't like something, you can't do a good job at it.
Right.
Right. If you don't enjoy it, it's just a drag.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that pretty girl back there behind Jonathan.
It's my VP of operations. She gets
All right. So that was the 3 of us. Does anybody want to try to do a commitment for the week?
Courtney, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I actually wrote some things down. So Mark and I were supposed to have a meeting to go over all my actual numbers for how much I spent on the business and this first property, where I want to get to and how to get there. I spent this past week actually kind of sounding down my business structure with the 3 people who wanted to partner with me. And so that's been actually going very well. It's the first time I actually pitched it and they're all in. So now I need to get back to the attorney that Maria recommended and send him my template for partnership agreements to make sure we make it look legal and good and to cover any contingencies or anything else that needs to go in there. So get the numbers together, send the template out to the attorney. Those are the main 2 right now.
Before you send that template to the attorney, though, you better be really clear on what we talked about before, your parameters. But anyway, it's a different story. So all you have to do is set a meeting up to make that happen, the numbers meeting. Cool. Anybody else want to commit to something that's going to make them grow their business next week?
Yeah, I do. So we're in a bit of a transition to working with Nicole. And this morning, long stupid story, but we launched a listing unexpectedly that we need to have on a virtual open house tomorrow. And we really didn't have the process in place for what was supposed to happen when this happened. And I was flying out to an appointment. And I just said to Judy, you just do it, because I don't even know if Nicole's around today. Like I couldn't commit you to something without having spoken with you. So we got to get that process smoothed out so that we can move ahead more streamlined with what we're trying to get done here.
So your goal is to get the process for virtual. I'm trying to write it down because
So yeah, to get the process for working with Nicole with our new listings ironed out.
I like it. Good, very nice for new listings. All right, anybody else? And don't worry if you don't do it. It's not like you get in trouble. John didn't do his last week.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
3/4 of the way done, baby. It's better than none.
All right.
Are we getting grades on this, Mark?
No. Just if you're related by blood, then I'm just gonna razz you for a long time. That's my role in the family.
I just don't want to fail.
You can't fail.
I want an A, an A plus.
You
Take
are
this
a
call,
winner.
Mark. I got to get out of here.
All
I'm
right.
the new guy.
All right, cool. So, hey, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Hopefully we can see you all next week and continue to make this journey successful.
All right.
All right.
Great job, Mark, as always.
Thank you. Take
Everyone have
you.
a safe weekend. Stay positive.
Stay safe.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.